After managing over $30 million in email revenue and optimizing hundreds of Klaviyo accounts, if I had to start from scratch and set up a high converting Klaviyo email marketing account in 2025, here is exactly what I would do. So let's go ahead and go through what I would do if I was starting a Klaviyo email marketing account from scratch in 2025. I'm going to go through the first 24 hours with you first before we start to begin sending out any campaigns, any flows, anything inside of the account. What we want to do is just make sure we've got the technical setup already locked in so that you can make sure that you land in that primary inbox. So for this, we need to go ahead and configure custom sending domains, make sure that you've got your authentication records all set up, and also just make sure that you got your sending details correct. Okay, so I've linked 2 articles here. You can actually see for Klaviyo the email authentication setup and also the sending requirements you want to abide by. But just so it's easier for you, I'm going to go step by step into the account and show you how we can do this. So let me just go to my account quickly now. What you want to do is go over to your settings in the bottom left, click on settings, go to domains, and you'll see here it says add a branding sending domain. Basically, what we want to do is just, let me remove that one quickly. We want to add a domain. You're going to put your domain in here. Then for the preview, you can either have it as send, email, info. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever you choose to do. I'm just going to leave it as send for now, and we're going to choose dynamic. Okay. So for the routing type, don't worry, we can change this at a later date, but I would always recommend dynamic. Now, what we want to do is just go ahead and find your DNS zone file. So what we want to do is choose your domain provider. So you've either got GoDaddy, maybe you're with Shopify, which is most common. If you do have either of these two, you're in luck. It's pretty straightforward. You click this and it'll do it automatically for you. But if you're not quite as fortunate as I am, I'm going to show you how we can do this manually. So for now, we're just going to select other, click next, and you'll see it's going to come up with all these DNS records. You then want to go over to your provider. This is Squarespace that I'm using for this example. Basically, you want to go over to your domains, find your domain, then go to DNS and go to DNS settings. Okay. Then we're going to scroll down until we see custom records. Now, what we're going to do is add a new record to your custom records. As you see here, we've got host, type, priority, TTL, and data. If you don't know what any of this means, I'm just going to show you exactly how to set this up right now. So go back to Klaviyo, click on NS, as you see here for the type, and then name is send. So for the name on host, we want to have it as send. For the type, we want to have this as NS. And then if I come back quickly, the name server is literally just going to be the value. So if I go back here, copy that, and then paste it into here, name server is value. You're then going to click save. Don't worry about TTL, leave this as it is. Click save. You're going to go ahead, repeat the process for all 4 of these here. Then for the very bottom one, what we're going to do is just make sure we update the type to TXT, the name to @ and the value to the one at the bottom here. So we've got @ just going to go ahead and do that as well, just to show you how this would look as an example. The type is going to be TXT, and then for the text at the very end, you're literally going to copy this, okay? And you're going to paste that. Now, the one thing that Klaviyo hasn't given us is the DMARC records. There's no DMARC records. If you come back to my document here, you'll see I've actually put the DMARC text records here. So what you want to do is go ahead and copy this underscore, and let me just make this a bit easier for you as well. Copy this DMARC as the host. Come back. DMARC is the host. For the text record, literally just going to leave that as TXT, which we've done. But we're also going to copy this section at the bottom here and paste that in. So TXT for the type is done. For the text, going to go ahead and paste that DMARC and then P equals none as the TXT file. Click save. Now, once you've done all of these, you're going to click verify. Okay. Not going to verify it because, again, I don't want to step for this account, but what it should look like after you've done this is as follows. So once you've verified it, it should say active as the status, which means we are now basically good to go for the technical setup. The only thing I would do is give the sending requirements a read and basically click on this. You want to make sure you're using an email for your sending domain provider as your company name. So you don't want any personal Gmails like tomwalsh@gmail.com, for example. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you've got it as you're sending at companyname.com. So send@lumitherapy.com. Pretty straightforward. That's the technical setup. Anything you don't really understand, I've put an authentication guide here so you can check that out. And then obviously just make sure you read the sending requirements here. Before we get into the rest of the plan, if you want us to manage your Klaviyo account completely done for you with guaranteed growth, just click the first link in the description and book in your free strategy call, and we'll show you exactly how we can help you. Now we've done the technical setup, we want to go ahead and focus on the first week. What should we get done within the first week for your core automations? So basically, you want to make sure you've got your pop-up form and your core automations all set up before you essentially go live. So what I mean by this is, if you have a pop-up on your website and you're capturing emails, but you haven't got any flows and you're not actively sending campaigns, those emails that you're capturing, we're going to lose them. They're not going to be engaged. We're going to lose the intent. There's literally no point in capturing those emails just yet. What I would do is just make sure you've got your welcome series set up, and it doesn't have to be extensive. It could be like a 3, maybe 4 email sequence welcome series. And we really just want to make sure that we have this in place so that when people do sign up to a pop-up form on your website, they start to receive emails from the get-go and start to become engaged customers. Okay, this is just going to help your deliverability. Now, just to give you an example as to how your pop-up should be set up, we got sign up forms. What I would always do is have one for desktop and one for mobile. Okay, and the reason you want to do this is because over 70% of customers are going to be on mobile when they hop onto your website. We want to make sure that we optimize for each platform. So if I go on the pop-up here on the mobile, what you'll be able to do is create a new form in the top right. For now, I've already set one up for this client, so I'm just going to show you what we've got set up here when I edit that form. And you'll see we've got a little teaser here, so you can have this as a little slider so that doesn't automatically pop up. Then we have a micro commitment. So it says unlock up to 70% off flash deals. Yes, please. No, thanks. Okay. Then once they've clicked that, we basically have an email opt-in where we capture that email address. And then we've also got 2-step here for SMS where we capture that phone number as well. Now, don't necessarily need to focus on SMS right now. Don't want to put too many cogs in the system. I would literally just go ahead and have an email opt-in where you can capture emails from your customer. Once the customer has actually opted in for your newsletter, they will then receive the welcome series. So the trigger we've got here is when somebody's added to your newsletter, they then receive their first email and then they get put through this drip. We have actually got SMS in here, as you can see, but this is the sequence they would go through. Okay, it does not have to be this extensive. If you're just starting off, maybe 2 or 3 emails to the welcome series is perfectly fine, and we can add to this later. Okay, again, you can see the email they received there. That's the welcome series done, and also your pop-up. Now in the background, you want to start to build out some core flows, that being your abandoned checkout, which is essentially when somebody has put products in the checkout, but they've not actually made the purchase and they leave the website. That's when we send out this automated sequence. Okay, usually you can send this maybe 30 minutes after they've abandoned checkout, and then continue to send this 18 and 24-hour intervals after obviously that first sequence. So again, maybe 2-3 emails just to begin with for the abandoned checkout. Then what we want to do is basically set up a post-purchase flow. So this is when a customer has made that first purchase with your brand. You want to make sure you're building that VIP loyalty with that customer so that we can upsell, cross-sell them, and just make sure they know that they're in safe hands. And, you know, we're still caring about the customer after they've made the purchase, right? That's pretty straightforward. The trigger here is when customer has made their first purchase on your store. Okay, that's the first 7 days for those core automations and obviously your list growth. You want to make sure you set up your pop-up as well. Then what we want to do on day 1 to 30 is just start to implement a consistent campaign cadence around 1 to 2 emails on a weekly basis, right? So this could be mixing educational content, user-generated content, and potentially even promos, right? I would not go over 2 emails, especially if you're just starting off. It's going to be too much. You haven't really got probably the list size for that either. So maybe even 1 email per week, but 2 emails just to be safe to keep people engaged. Now, after days 30, after that first month, we've built out those flows and obviously your campaigns are all being set up. What we can focus on is a segmentation framework plus 2 more additional flows that I would recommend. So we can begin with a 30-day engaged segment. Okay, and what we can do is basically set this up inside of Klaviyo in segments. So as you'll see here, listen segments. What you want to do is basically set up this segment here. So 30-day engaged, right? If I open that up, edit definition, this is basically the segment structure that you want for this. So just name it at the top, 30-day engaged, what someone has done or not done. So the person has clicked an email at least once in the last 30 days, okay? I would also add an or, what someone has done, and then just make sure you've got it. Cool, so this is what I would set up for the definition. Just take a little glimpse at my screen right now. You can go ahead and set this up in the listen segments. And again, you can do the exact same thing for the 60-day engaged and 90-day engaged group as well. So you can do 60 days, 90 days. It's literally the exact same for all of them. What you want to do is just come back here. So we've set up the 30-day engaged. I would send out to this 30-day engaged list. If you get good deliverability after a couple of weeks, you can split test sending it to the 60-day engaged group. If there's no massive drop off, you can give it another week and then potentially test the 90-day engaged just to ensure we warmed up the list and have good deliverability, right? Now, in this time frame on 30 to 60 days, we want to begin setting up additional flows. So that being your abandoned cart flow, which essentially recuperates any abandoned carts, and then also the browse abandonment flow, which re-engage people who have viewed certain products. Now, one thing to be mindful of when it comes to any abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, or even when they viewed a product page for your browse abandonment flow, you want to use a dynamic product block, which basically pulls in pixel data from your store and places the exact cart page, checkout page, or even that product page they was viewing inside of that email. So it takes them back to where they left off. Once this has been attended to, after days 60 to 90, we can start to set up the site abandonment flow, which is basically for people who have viewed, they've basically just been on your homepage or collections page, right? They've not viewed a product yet. This is just try and get them deeper down the funnel, get them into your product page, get them to code to cart, check out, and so forth, right? The win back flow, which is basically setting up for people who have not made a purchase in 60 days. If, for example, 60 days has been exceeded, they will then receive this win back flow, which basically just asks them to come back to the website and gives them a slight nudge. Okay. Sunset and engage is basically the same activation in terms of time frame. So once it's been 180 days since they've basically made their purchase, we want to try and get them to come back to the store and re-engage them. If after 180 days they've not come back to the store, we basically say, hey, look, we haven't heard from you in a while. If you don't want to keep hearing from us, we give them the option to come back. But if they still haven't opened that email, we basically say, look, we're going to unsubscribe you from our list. Then we've also got the VIP flows. So this will be rewarding top customers. Depending on how your store is set up, you can either have this as a set amount, so they've spent over $300, or what I would like to do is potentially if they made 3 or more purchases, they are now a VIP customer. Okay, now one thing to keep in mind, if you're scaling past that 90-day mark, at this stage you just want to identify any performance drop-offs and begin split testing your campaigns, flows, and your pop-up. Obviously improve underperforming metrics. All benchmarks and targets will be tailored to your specific industry, so KPIs can vary across many different industries, depends on your product, your niche. Are you a subscription-based business? There's going to be a lot of KPIs that's going to vary from niche to niche, but as a good basis for your campaign open rate, you want around 30 to 40% plus. Campaign click rate, 1.5% plus, maybe even 3% plus as well. And then for your pop-up conversion rate, anywhere from 5 to 12% is what you want to be striving for. What I will say here though is as time goes on, you'll be able to see what gives you better KPIs inside of your account. It's all just going to come down to split testing and discovering which variables work for you and just hindering any lower performing metrics. Okay, that's pretty much it for the entire setup from starting from complete scratch in 2025. Here's what I would do from 0 to day 90. Now, if you implement this, I promise you'll see better results inside of your Klaviyo account. And if you are still feeling confused or stuck with something else inside of your e-commerce business when it comes to email marketing, just click the first link in the description, book your discovery call, and we'll show you exactly how we can help. Until then, see you in the next video.